Welcome to crocodilemtg. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jordan with crocodilemtg, here bringing you another Magic the Gathering video. Today we are playing Grixis Death Shadow. We are currently on the draw with 3 Street Wraiths in hand. I'm hesitant to keep this hand because if we're playing against an aggressive deck, I think 3 Street Wraith is too many. However, if we find a Shadow off of this, it'd be pretty decent. Plus we're drawing a card per turn, so that's 4 new cards, and I think we'll try it. Hopefully we can draw something like a Serum Visions to kind of filter out the draws without taking too much damage after. So our opponent leads on a Steam Vents and passes back. It could be our opponent's on the same exact thing, which we actually found a Shadow. So 2, 4, 6, 8. We go down to 12. Well, let's see what we can play a turn 1 Shadow, but it's probably better to play it on turn 2. Alright, so we have a Thoughtseize in our hand. I think I'm going to lead on this Watery Grave and Thoughtseize our opponent. We'll see what our opponent does here. Alright, so it looks like we're playing against Storm. Opt, Grape Shot, Desperate Ritual. Part of me wants to take this Brawl, but the other part of me just feels like they can kill us pretty early. So they have Opt in hand. They don't have another land. So next turn we're going to take potentially 4, drop the 10, play a 4/4 Shadow with Stubborn Denial backup. Maybe it's right just to take the Brawl here. And then again, it's arguably right to take the Grape Shot. So if we take they're trying to find a land on these ops. So if we take the Grape Shot, I'm going to take this Brawl. I think Brawl just gives them a mana advantage currently that they don't, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think the mana creature discounts enough spells where it's potentially dangerous for us to let them keep it. Yeah, so next turn I'm going to... How far do I want to drop? Drop down to 9, play a 3/3 Shadow with Street Wraith backup. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab another Watery Grave. Actually, I'm going to grab a Blood Crypt just so we have all our colors. I'm going to play out the Shadow. And I'll pass the turn back to our opponent. Now we have Temur Battle Rage, so if we don't die on our next turn, then we're able to just go off. And if our opponent does something like Mana Creature Spell, we can just counter that first spell they play. Our opponent does only have to cast 8 total spells in a turn, though. I'm hoping this Stubborn Denial, gets us there. I misspoke. Our Death Shadow is a 4/4, not a 3/3. Alright, so our opponent's passing back the turn. Alright, so with that second Stubborn Denial, I think we just have the game here. I'm going to move to combat. We have an 8/8. They're at 16 health. I'm going to use this Teamer Battle Rage. And we'll see if our opponent has anything. But I have a Stubborn Denial backup, so... Alright, that's game number 1. So here I think Surgical, Collective Brutality are both good. Liliana the Veil is... So Stubborn Denial is good. Liliana the Veil is good if we can disrupt them early. Because our big thing is going to be our discard spells and our Stubborn Denials kind of early game to try and disrupt all their things. I think I'm going to take out these Dismembers. I don't think they're as relevant as we want them to be. It's good to be able to have extra removal spells for their mana creatures, but I think our Fatal Pushes are fine. That might be wrong. If you think that's wrong, leave a comment. Let me know what you would have done in that situation. Also, I feel like we're more of the semi-control deck in this instance. So I think I'm going to cut... Street Wraith was good in that matchup. Street Wraith is just free for us. I think what we want to be doing is killing our opponent. Like less killing of our opponent and more controlling of the game. So I think I'm going to cut these here. That Teamer Battle Rage was good. Maybe I don't care about our opponent's mana creatures as much, and I just want to go after their hand. I'll cut a Thoughtseize. We'll see how this plays. I'm still a little new at sideboarding with this Grixis Shadow list. I haven't played it as much. I used to play it probably this time last year, but I took quite a big break on it. So this hand doesn't have any discard in it, and I think that's really what we want to be doing. We're also pretty land heavy. I'm going to mulligan this. Alright, this hand's better. We're going to be looking for a second land, but just being able to strip away some of their key cards in this match. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Snapcaster Mage is good, but I think we just want to be able to find more disruption. So turn 1, I'm going to play this Bloodstained Mire and grab a Watery Grave and Thoughtseize them. And I'm going to play this Bauble, but I'm going to do it on our opponent's upkeep. So our opponent is down to 5 cards. They have Manamorphose, Desperate Ritual. So the Manamorphose is free, but the Desperate Ritual ramps them. So do I want to go after cards and mana here, or do I just want to go after the mana? Because our opponent will never be able to get over 2 mana unless they find another ritual. That being said, I think limiting their card draw might be better. this instance. So I'm going to pass the turn back. I'm going to spy on their top card, see what they're drawing. That way I have full information. Alright, so they're drawing pieces of the puzzle here. Our opponent not actually able to cast that. So do they leave that on top? No, they put it on the bottom. So they don't actually have that in their hand here. Alright, so we are going to... So they played the op. So they have 2 new cards in hand. The question is, do we want to Serum Visions and try and find another land, or do we just want to Thoughtseize again? The other option is to leave up one of these Stubborn Denials. I think we just Thoughtseize again. So our opponent has a Manamorphose, pieces of the puzzle, and a couple ritual effects. So piece of the puzzle reads, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put 2 instants or sorceries among them into your hand and put the rest in the graveyard. So our opponent could actually cast that by going Ritual Manamorphose next turn, and I think that pulls them pretty far ahead. I think I want to be I want to take that card, I think, because it's a 2-for-1. Alright, our opponent finds Sleight of Hand off the top. And now I think we just want to do the same thing. Just keep full information. Our opponent finds a 3rd land. So now they're going to cast another piece of the puzzle. I'm going to Stubborn Denial this. So now we have full information. Alright, we found a Street Wraith and we found another land, which is good. I'm going to Serum Visions here. Alright, and now we have 2 threats on top of our library. So I'm going to keep the Shadow on top, the Gurmag Angler under that, and pass the turn. And then we have this Polluted Delta. We just have so much going on for us now. I think it was good to mulligan at the beginning of this game. I think this game looks a lot different if we hadn't mulliganed. So I'm going to play out this Shadow. It's going to be a 4/4. I don't want to fetch because the Gurmag's on top, and I think we just want to add as much pressure as we can next turn. Plus we have 2 Stubborn Denial effects. So I think this game, unless our opponent has a way to play around it, I think this game's pretty much in the bag. And we have a Snapcaster, which we can just Snapcast or something. So what are the things we'd want a Snapcaster? So I do want to fetch this turn because I want to put pressure on our opponent. I'm going to grab this Watery Grave. I want to keep all my sources blue mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and probably the second Thoughtseize. So I'm going to swing in this turn for 7. And now we just have plenty of things to do to disrupt our opponent. Alright, we'll pass back. We actually oddly don't have lethal on board. We have to take 1 damage somehow. Alright, so our opponent's going to cast something. So if our opponent deals 1 damage to themselves with the Shivan Wreath, they actually die next turn, which is interesting. So they can't actually play the 3 rituals in their hand. Alright. I think our opponent just lost because of that. Alright, And leaving up both those rituals was good for us. Now we have lethal on board. Alright, good game, opponent. Thank you so much for watching. Please go hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video.